How has that been watching those games? I know the Liberty has struggled as of late, not exactly where they want to be, but how has that experience been for you so far?
Oh my God. Well, it's amazing. First of all, Barclays Center's popping. Every game I've been to, especially the one game I went to where they actually won, the place was jumping, and they are doing so well with marketing. And I think the best thing too to see in the crowd is just a lot of young girls so passionate about the game and being able to look down at the court and see people being paid to play this amazing game. That's so fun. And yeah, I think definitely before the break, something that they were working on was consistency and execution. I mean, what team isn't? But that's what I remember from the press conferences. That was the biggest theme, and I think that's what will be concentrated on for the 10 games that are left in this regular season. And there's two big games coming up against number one, tied for number one, Seattle Storm.
Yeah, and speaking of the Seattle Storm, they just won the league's first ever Commissioner Cup championship. They blew out Connecticut. Great for both great for everyone involved though. $500K split amongst the players on the teams. Each player on the winning side received $30,000. The players on Connecticut, the losing team, got $10,000 each, and then Breanna Stewart, MVP, got an extra $5,000, which is awesome because in addition to all that, and also being a gold medalist of FIBA Olympic MVP, she's now a mom, which is so cool. Hearing that news today. Her and her fiance welcomed their first child, a girl, Ruby, hopefully a future WNBA star herself, via surrogate. So that's really cool. I want to give her a shout out for that. But Thomas Aiello, I want to ask you, I don't know how much you know about this Commissioner Cup. What do you think? Do you think this is something that's going to be successful for the WNBA moving forward? And if so, do you think this is something that a league like the NBA can implement in their plans?
Well, I was complaining about this on 101 that only having it on Amazon Prime really made me upset because I wanted it to be on cable television. Now I have to confess because I don't really enjoy streaming services that much. The only ones I do like are NFL Red Zone, and that's about it. That's the only streaming thing that I enjoy. Other than that, I don't like them. I like cable TV. But I wanted it to be on cable TV because you can get more of an audience that way. And I think that people...
But you would have to split between that and the Field of Dreams game, and that would have been way more annoying, right?
That is true. And I did end up doing that, as I tweeted. But not everyone has Amazon Prime, and that's like the one thing that was really getting me on that. But I thought it was really good for the WNBA to have like a showcase kind of thing and a more of incentive to tune in because it's a one and done thing, and it's between the top two teams in the conferences. I thought that was really good. And what I learned from that is that Sue Bird is a voodoo witch doctor. I think that's the term, witch doctor. She just controls the game as if it's just some kind of joke to her because everything that she was doing was almost, I don't want to say fully game altering, but it would teeter a certain way into which the Storm would just take over the game. And from the jump, they were all over who do they play? I'm completely forgetting.
Connecticut Sun.
Yeah, they played the Connecticut Sun. They were just completely all over them. They just pounced very quickly, and the Sun just could not recover. And Kelly, you also asked if the NBA should do this. I don't think they should do it. I think they do. The play-in tournament is fine. I don't think they need to do a mid-season cup because I know the whole theme of the NBA vehicle is to not incentivize tanking. I don't think that's going to help with the tanking thing because teams will just be like, we won the Adam Silver bottle thing or whatever, the cup. And then they're just going to immediately become horrible. And because NBA teams will do that. That's just how that league works. With WNBA, it's obviously way more competitive. And obviously there's not as many teams as the NBA, but you have the incentive you can make the playoffs. Like you have a good chance to do it every year. So I thought it was great overall for the WNBA. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought Sue Bird, she's still a beast along with Breanna Stewart. That's just the most unstoppable duo to me. But no, I don't think the NBA should really do it. I think the play-in tournament is a good supplement.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The two teams do have different makeups, and it's not apples to oranges. It's the same sport, but much different leagues. But I do think, again, I agree with you. It's great for the league. I think anytime you have women sports in championship setting being broadcast and followed by a lot of people, that's a good thing. And I think the more people have exposure to superstars like you mentioned, Suber and Breanna Stewart, I think the better. You know, that like most leagues at this point are driven by their superstars, and the WNBA is one of those leagues. And I think showcasing them and getting them on air, even if it's on Amazon Prime, is really important. And you mentioned Sue Bird being someone who is such an impact player. Gigi, as our resident New York Liberty expert, I wanted to ask you about Natasha Howard, who's been out for a while, and she just had her first appearance in almost 3 months Sunday night. She scored a game-high 30 points in a loss to the Lynx, but still made an impact nonetheless. How do you think her coming back is going to help this Liberty team, which is clinging to that 7th of 8 available playoff spots right now? Is she going to make an impact, especially being alongside Sabrina Ionescu? How much of that is going to help them in their playoff push?
Oh my God, I think it's going to help them so much. She hasn't been playing. She's been out for almost 3 months, and maybe you would know what this means, a medial collateral ligament tear in her knee. Did you have that, Kelly?
You know what? MCL is the one I haven't torn. Not going, but I knew.
Yeah, you've had every knee injury under the sun, it seems like.
Do Todd Gurley knees count? I have those. I have Todd Gurley knees in a very coupon form, yeah.
I thought you said hot girly knees. I was like, I see that. That's pretty. I'm happy for you, bro. No, I mean, Natasha Howard coming back, dropping 30 points is absolutely ridiculous. She is the one Liberty shirt I have. Actually, that was the one that was being sold. So, I mean, that tells you enough how important she is. But they've been handling well in her absence. And they just got Natasha Gray, too, before the break. And she was a big presence in the paint. I think that the biggest thing with the Liberty is that you are seeing, as you saw in the Commissioner's Cup, which Storm won 79-57 against the Sun, you have these superstars that you just can't compete with. We were saying that in 101 too. Like, you have the trio, you have Sue Bird, you have Stewie, you even have Katie Lou Samuelson, you have Jewel Lloyd, you have all these players on the Storm. The Aces have so many great players. You can't forget about the Sky and the Lynx, Mercury, all these teams that are ahead of the Liberty right now. But having Natasha Howard come back right now is so crucial. As you said, I'm sure they were planning on this. They're like, yeah, take as many months as you need. If you want that whole month off of the All-Star and Olympic break, take that. And she was putting in the work. And tomorrow night, Sue Bird and Stewie both won't be playing. Like you said, Stewie just is having a baby. She's going to be taking the game off. And like you said, too, Aiello, Sue Bird's old. She's going to be taking these games off. She might play on Friday. We'll see how that goes. But I think that the biggest thing for the Liberty tomorrow to look out for, I mean, they just lost to the Lynx on Sunday at the Target Center in Minneapolis, but it was down to the wire in that game that they just came back from on the break. And the Storm just lost, too. Sue Bird and Stewie didn't play on Sunday. So with those two being out, it was a close game for them. And then the Lynx Liberty game, that was a close game. It came down to the wire, and they didn't score. The Lynx went on a big run in the fourth quarter. So the Liberty kind of slipped up. And like I said, the big push for them before the break even was consistency. And what we're going to see from the Liberty, I feel like moving forward, is just more consistent output. Like you said, Aiello, Sue Bird is going to be this playmaker. She's a magician voodoo doctor out there. And that's what Sabrina Ionescu is for the Liberty. And to have someone, a scorer like Natasha Howard, 30 points on Sunday, and you have a playmaker in Sabrina Ionescu, dude, it's going to be a great matchup. And we'll see. And you still have leading 3-point scorer Sammy Whitcomb on the Liberty, and a great veteran, too, just to have in the locker room. Jazz Jones, great energy. She'll be out tomorrow, but she'll still be giving energy on the bench. She's just like that. I mean, we all have those kind of players. Like, Natasha Howard's going to be a great thing moving forward. And then tomorrow night, we'll see how it goes against the Storm. It's going to be the Girl Scout game. What if that's going to motivate the team any more? But it'll be a good way for young girls to feel even more empowered. Like I said, I've been seeing a lot of them in the crowd. And we'll see. It's their first matchup of the season, too. So it really could go anyway, especially with the injuries and what players are out and what players are back now. You got Tosh back putting 30 on the Lynx. So I think it's going to be an exciting game to watch, even these next 2 games. And the Liberty have a really tough schedule for these last 10 games. So I think that's going to affect their standing up a little bit. But I will definitely say, I'll put this down right now, out of loyalty and respect, they'll be in the top 8. They'll make it to the playoffs. Not worried.
I respect that. Now, did you mention the Seattle Storm loss on Sunday? And I wanted to bring that up because that loss to the Chicago Sky was the most watched WNBA regular season game since 2012, drawing 755,000 average viewers. And that number came without Sue Bird and Suey. They were both resting. So I think that's really important for the league, that even without their two biggest players, literally the two players that even people who don't watch the league know about, weren't even playing, and they got their highest viewing for a regular season game in a decade pretty much. So I think that's really good for the league, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from there. Because like you said, it's so important for young girls to see that and know that there is a future for them too in athletics, not just the guys with basketball.